Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Maggie Marr here, the founder of Maggie Marr Legal PC and a USA Today bestselling author. I've wanted to make this video for a long while now. So many of my clients have been bringing me agreements, contracts, deal memos from apps. And when I say an app, I mean a mobile gaming app. If you're an independent author or even a traditional author at this point, you probably have been approached by an app, a mobile gaming app that wants to take your independent or traditionally published book and put it up on their mobile app in a different sort of format to create a revenue stream both for yourself and for the app. These apps have been popping up like mushrooms, right? So I'm sure you've seen some sort of agreement. We've gotten dozens, hundreds of these to review on behalf of our clients. And while I can't provide you legal advice unless you're already my client, and to be honest, if you're my client, I'm not providing you legal advice through a video. We have conversations by phone or Zoom to discuss what is best for you strategically as a client of Maggie Marr Legal PC. But there are a couple elements to these apps that I think every creator, independent author, traditional author should be aware of, whether or not they decide to have me or an attorney like me or someone else review the agreement on their behalf. So there are three things that I want to run through so that you can be a smart author when you approach these agreements, because we are talking about somebody who wants to license or possibly even purchase your subsidiary or ancillary rights for a period of time. And those can impact all of your other subsidiary and ancillary rights, and it can impact your underlying intellectual property. So the first thing that I want you to look at when you take a look at a mobile gaming agreement or an app agreement is that you want to look at the term that the agreement covers. And when I say term, I mean the length of time. So it will be up to you, obviously, as the creator of the underlying intellectual property, the book, how long you want to be in business with the app that is trying to license your rights to your underlying book. A lot of them will ask for a term of 10, 7, or 5 years. Many of them will negotiate that term to a much shorter period of time. So me as an advocate for creators and their rights, I often will say to clients, look, if the term is shorter and things work out, you can always renew. If the term is shorter and things don't work out, then you can always exit from the agreement. So not to say that in your case that shorter is better, but I think it's always good to have a shorter amount of time so that you can assess whether or not this has been a benefit to you as the owner of the intellectual property. So the first thing you want to look at is the term, the length of time that the company is asking to license your work for. The second thing that you want to look out for is how much are you going to get paid? What is the money and the revenue that you're going to receive by licensing these subsidiary and ancillary rights to the app company, right? And how are you going to get paid? Is there an upfront amount? Is there a royalty amount? The other thing is how do they define how they're going to pay you? Are you getting a percentage of gross, which means that that you get a percentage right off the top before they get remunerated, before distributors get remunerated, your percentage comes out of gross? Or does your percentage come out of net? How do they calculate their net? What do they subtract from their net profits before they pay you? Do they subtract distribution fees? Do they subtract user acquisition fees? Do they subtract marketing fees? From what pot does your percentage come from, right? And then also, do you have the ability to audit them? You know, not to say that this necessarily comes into play, but I can tell you that in film and TV and also in publishing, having an audit clause in your agreement can be very helpful to both parties, because both parties then know that if something looks a little bit off or if they have questions, that they can come through and audit the books as they are specific to that individual. So I would advise that you try to get some audit language, if it isn't already there, dropped into an agreement that has to do with apps. So number one, how long are you licensing your work for? Number two, what is the royalty structure and how do you get paid? And the number three thing that I think that you need to be aware of before you would sign any agreement with an app company is what rights are they licensing? Okay, so I can tell you that when I first started to see these app agreements, what could be now almost 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of those agreements were scooping up every right that they possibly could. There were some agreements that were actually requesting that the authors convey film and TV rights to an app, to a mobile app. I can tell you that from most of my clients' perspective, the thought of giving up their film and TV rights to a mobile app was not going to work for them. For most of the writers that I work with, film and TV rights are definitely the platinum set of rights that they very much want to hold on to, so that if Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Amazon Studios, whoever comes for those rights are available, and the author can convey those rights so that a film or TV show can be made. Most authors, I think, would assert that they do not want their film and TV rights to go to a mobile gaming app. Here's the problem with that. So say you gave your film and TV, or you licensed your film and TV rights to a mobile gaming app, and then Netflix came for your film and TV rights, and Netflix said, okay, we need to see if there's any subsidiary and ancillary outstanding licensing deals with regards to chain of title for the project, and you handed over the agreement, and the agreement said that this app company had scooped up your film and TV rights. You would then either have to make a deal with the app company where they would reconvey. You would have to go to the app company and you would have to make a deal with them so that they no longer had a claim for film and TV rights. And those film and TV rights, they would have the right to do that. So one of the things that I think you always need to be aware of when you are licensing subsidiary and ancillary rights are, what rights do you want to license to the company that's coming from them? Be very explicit and specific as to what you are comfortable with licensing to them, because as we've discussed before on this channel, a book can have 8 to 10 potential revenue streams. As you exploit those additional revenue streams other than just publishing, you need to see how those rights deals interact, how they dovetail together, right? So, example, most of the app agreements are non-exclusive, which is great, because if one of them was exclusive, it could preclude you from licensing to another app company. And if you did and didn't realize it, you would be in breach of the first contract if it was an exclusive contract. Another example, if the app agreement you signed somehow conveyed film and TV rights to the app company, and then you turned around and signed a deal to Netflix, you would be in breach of both of those agreements. So just want to point out that everyone, I'm a big believer in trying to exploit every potential revenue stream for every book that you write, but you need to be really aware of what you're conveying, what rights you're conveying or licensing, how long is the term, how does that license that you're signing interact with other licenses that you may want to sign later or may have already signed, and then also how are you going to get paid and what is the amount that you're going to get paid. Again, 3 really important tips or thoughts to have as you go through your deal memos with regards to apps. As you know, at Maggie Marr Legal PC, we do the red line review and negotiation of app agreements all day, every day. So if you would like some help with that, please reach out to us. We're happy to be helpful any way that we can. The details on how to contact me or the firm are just below the video in the links below. Also, we've put a link to Books to Film and TV, What Every Author Needs to Know. It's my latest title that's coming out soon. The link to that will be below. Also, a link to the newsletter for Maggie Marr Legal PC so that you can hear about any upcoming events or anything that we feel like you need to know about as a creator of intellectual property. And then also, if you would please like the video if you feel like you got some value from it, and subscribe to the channel so that when we come out with new videos about strategy and things that we believe are important to creators, you'll get a notification that the video has come out. So wanted to tell you thank you so much for listening, and I hope that this has been helpful. And as always, feel free to reach out with any additional questions or comments, or drop them below. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.